Hello, my beautiful people. I don't know what to put in the intro yet, so bear with me. This is my second video on the channel. As you can see, my background has changed quite a bit. I've added some new posters and I've added some new album covers. I didn't buy the vinyls or nor did I buy the actual albums because I'm broke, but we'll get out of there. So today was my birthday week. I turned 22. Yay! I'm 22 now. My birthday was on Thursday, April 9th, and today is Sunday currently. And I have some sentiments about turning 22, but this video is not going to be 22 lessons of being 22, I swear. Like, maybe I'll get to that, but I don't feel any particular lessons being 22 because my particular case is that I literally dropped out and I restarted my life almost 5 months prior to making this video. So, y'all, I'm literally an infant mentally. I'm restarting my life from ground zero. So there's that. Yeah, one of the topics that I wanted to touch upon today was the topic of love, relationships, especially love towards oneself. And particularly to me, in tandem with the idea that I literally just restarted my life a few months ago, like I've said, it made me realize a lot of things that I have never known about myself when it comes to love as well. My whole concept of love came from my parents, like most of us do. I grew up with parents who are very aloof. They didn't really pay attention to me that much when it comes to affection. So the main mode of affection that I got was validation, not to stereotype myself, but I was quite the student back then. And every single achievement that I did, I went back home and I told my parents about it, and they would be like, "You're so great. You should do better. If you get an A, if you get like a 10 out of 10 in that particular test, we'll give you something." Because back then I was a kid, right? I was obsessed with Lego in particular, and I was obsessed with puzzles. So I would ask them all the time, like, "Hey, can I get like a new set of Legos? Like those Technic, those series Technic, cars and everything. Can I get that?" When I get like a high score, they're like, "Sure." And I would go off and off hours playing that goddamn series. Yeah, I swear, like it was an obsession. You don't get it. It was so good. Whenever I played those games, I go into like a Zen mode, and I still do actually because no, I don't have like Lego sets in my room right now where I live. But to like make up for it, I usually go on this website called jigsaw.org, and I literally would just spend hours just playing puzzle, like specifically the 1000 plus pieces, and then listening to music in the background, just me and my thoughts, and me putting the puzzles. Yeah, I'm so autistic, if you can't tell. Yeah, so basically, performing well was my main mode of love because it was the only way that I could get love or validation, or at least to the concept that I knew what love was before, with the upbringing that I had with my parents. Love came in a form of validation, and it was solidified to me that I could only get love if I perform well, or if I get to a certain expectation given to me to be earned. Love is to be earned, to be performed, to be a certain type of archetype for people to love instead of being yourself. And if I'm being honest, I still have that. It's somewhat consolidated in my mind. It's like it's one of the roots and like root problems in my mind, and I need to like kind of perform lobotomy for me to actually get rid of that. But I'm doing that right now, so don't worry. I'm on the process of actually getting to detangle my childhood, learning my traumas. So with me talking about my childhood is to say, like, I think everyone has a wound, right? Everyone has this particular wound in their childhood that taught them that love is supposed to be a certain type of way, and then they have to get to a point in life, if not earlier than later, that love is not what they have thought to be. In my case in particular, I realized that you're not supposed to perform to gain love. You're not supposed to be a certain type of person to get love. And it is to my understanding that love is not supposed to be like that. I mean, love comes in so many forms that we can't even grasp. It's platonic, it's romantic, it's familial. It exists in a plethora of ways that we can't just contain it in a box. But my way of upbringing, it made me believe that even in every form of love that exists out there, there should be performance. There should be a give and take dynamic. When it shouldn't, because thanks to my lovely friends, thanks to the communities that I've been in, I slowly became to realize that love is not supposed to be that way. Love is ever giving. People give because they love. People listen to you because they love you. They try to help you in any way that they can. And they love you for who you are. You shouldn't perform to get loved. That's something that's mind boggling to me, but I'm coming to terms with it. And as I go on with my life, and as I become more vulnerable slowly, as I've come to accept the fact that I can just be myself and I can just exist and slow down and calm down, people will still appreciate me for who I am. I mustn't perform to be a certain type of character in order to receive that love. It's mind blowing. You never should perform who you need to be in order to get love. I would even argue to say that there's nothing casual about being you. And I think there's so much power in that, in accepting that who you are essentially, without the mask, without the expectations, without thinking that you should be someone. There's nothing casual about that. You shouldn't be scared of being yourself. A lot of people would judge, like everyone would kind of shit on you all the time. There's gonna be haters out there wherever you go. They're gonna shit on you for doing something. There's always something to be hated on. I swear to God. So it's very crucial in this context to accept who you are and love yourself for who you are, and to remember that there's nothing casual about being you. Your flaws, your strengths. Sometimes you're not even the same person as you were 5 minutes ago. You know what I mean? The past 5 months, I've been learning a lot about how to love myself and how to transmute the pain in my childhood to something more transformative and something bigger than just hatred itself. Because hey, like I've been through that phase of so many ego deaths, so many realizations about how I should have been treated better in both my family and my relationships or my past friendships. I've realized so many things. I think as I think about it more, the more things that I learn. I think that's natural for everyone. But it's even more important now that I think upon the very thing that I had went through. Something interesting is born out of being a child in that kind of environment is that you tend to believe that you are smaller than everyone else. That's very unfortunate. I fall into the same category. I sometimes feel like I'm not as good as my friends. I feel like I am not as good as my peers. And I thought to myself, like, ever since dropping out, like, oh my God, I don't have any peers. I don't have anyone in architecture school to compare myself to. My projects won't be deemed as shitty compared to other people doing crit. For your information, I used to major in urban planning and architecture. So it's actually pretty gruesome when I was still in school. Yeah. But I realized quickly on, after dropping out, that it still exists in any community and any platform that I'm on. If it's not architecture, then it's gonna be social media. If it's not my relatives in my family, then it's gonna be my friends. It's gonna be everywhere. And so I have to go deep into my roots, like my brain, and question myself, why do I even think this way? And why is it such a common occurrence to feel like you're comparing yourself to someone else? That you're just a casualty in someone's life, even your own life? Why do you treat yourself as such a commodity? As like something so recyclable, so disposable? And I think it's very crucial to remember that there is absolutely nothing casual about you. You're not supposed to be treated as someone who's so containable, as if you're living inside a box. And this is tricky because a lot of people, even me, myself, and even my friends, they all say that they love themselves. They all say that they give grace to themselves and they accept themselves. But obviously, it goes to a certain extent because habits speak louder than words. In this case, some of them will still put someone on a pedestal, would let someone run them over, would let people take advantage of them, and then they still say that, yeah, I still love myself. I still take myself on self-care days. I still go to the spa, I get my nails done, I get a pedicure. But why do you still let people run you over like that? Why don't you speak up when it's you who are getting bullied or done wrong? Would you call that self-love? Not to dismiss their journey, of course. I'm speaking from my own experience as well because most of these experiences are a reflection of my experiences. And I'm just calling that out because I think it's true. Sometimes we do need to listen and to see ourselves for what we are. And sometimes we don't give ourselves justice because we say one thing and we do one thing. And it's just an important distinction to make from an argument here. To treat yourself as such a casualty is literally a slow death, and I wouldn't want that upon anyone, especially you, especially me. And I want you to remind yourself that every single thing you do in life, every single habit that you build, every single word that you say, every single action that you take, it consolidates the kind of person you are. With you thinking that you are such a casualty in your own life, not even mentioning other people's lives, you're capping your limit. You're capping your ceiling. You're more than that. You really are, and I advocate for that because I feel the same. There's so many examples to take from, and it leads to every single aspect and facet of everyone's life. If you think you're so limited, if you think you're so casual, then everything will be treated accordingly. If you like someone and you feel like, "Oh, you're not enough. You can't shoot your shot because they're just on another level. It's just in another kind of league." What league? Who said they're out of your league? Who established this league? Maybe it's social media. Maybe it's just like some made up concept. Maybe she's like a 10 out of 10 girl. Maybe he's like an 11 out of 10 man. Who cares? You're doing that. You're believing in that system because you're capping yourself. You're treating yourself like a casualty even though you might not notice it, you know? Yeah, people might tell you like, "Bro, you're like a 6 out of 10. You need to work on your maxilla or whatever that clavicular glitch say if you know that dude. You're chronically online like I am." Or you might be like, "Girl, you deserve someone better because he's not good looking." You're also part of the problem, you know that? Sorry to say, but you're treating people like a commodity in that case. And probably you do to you as well. You just don't know it. Or you should not made aware of it. Everyone has a different type of casualty that they think of themselves, and I want you to challenge yourself on that because me too. I have a lot of things in life that I have to think about because I have to challenge myself every single day. I have certain types of opinions and viewpoints that I think are very outdated. I was not the same person that I was 5 minutes ago, and I will not be the same person 5 minutes later. That's one thing I say to my friends a lot because I think it stands really true. You can always change at any certain given moment. We're always in momentum, guys. We can change at any given moment had we give ourselves the opportunity to actually change. And I want to say this as well. Being treated like a casualty is disrespectful to oneself. And that should evoke some emotion in you that makes you want to change or makes you want to do something about it. If you're a logical person, listen to your feelings. If you're an emotional person, listen to your logic. Listen. Just listen. Listen. You are built from a plethora of multitude of experiences, built after so many heartbreaks and so many setbacks. So your background is not a burden. You could view it as like your building point. Like, yeah, people have buffs and debuffs. I view mine as a debuff. I have to like discard everything else and build from ground zero with the lessons that I've learned from my past childhood. I don't want to weaponize it, even though I fell into that trap early on when I was a kid, grew out of it, and I think if anyone is like that, I implore you to also explore that. Every single experience that you have lived is individual to you, but it also has been experienced by someone in the past. Not 10 years ago, not 50 years ago, maybe someone in ancient civilization has already felt the things that you have felt and have went through the things that you have went through. So I say that to make you understand that your pain has been felt by people. Your gratitude, your joy has been shared by so many people as well. And I hope you find hope in that statement. And the last thing that I want to say is you are a gift. No one is you. And it is a privilege to know you and to know yourself. I don't know you personally, but I know that even you, the person watching this, we are built from experience and setbacks, a multitude of them. And we have so many stories, so many heartbreaks, so many crazy side quests, main quests, whatever, to be told, to be embraced, to feel embodied by that. And so, why are you diminishing yourself? Why are you capping yourself like that? Why are you treating yourself like you're not deserved to be heard? I would love to listen to you. I would love to hear so many stories that you have to say. And if I were you, I would like to listen to myself as well. Think about it that way. Speaking about it makes me feel a certain type of like frustration and gratitude in myself as well, because I'm essentially kind of advocating for my past self who thought that way, who thought the same, who was like, I should not say that because they would think I'm weird. I should not share my story because it doesn't apply in a certain situation. That's kind of selfish in its own way, you know? You don't know what the other person is thinking. Then why would you assume that they would not want to hear what you have to say? They would not want to know what experiences or insights that you might have, you know? I would even dare to say it's your ego talking. It's your assumptions. Your assumptions fill in the void that you're scared of asking. At the end of the day, I just really want you to listen to yourself because this is not an easy journey to tread on. It has a lot to do with breaking your own heart, realizing the truth, confronting a lot of ambiguity within yourself and within the people that you have to confront. You have to dissolve the image that you have of your own ego, and then you have to realize that probably you're nothing that you thought you would be. And that's okay. People change all the time. Like I've said before, you know, you're not the same person 5 minutes ago, and you will not be the same person 5 minutes away from now. Trust. It's never an easy thing to do. It's such a bitch to go through. I'm in that process right now. I thought I would be over it, but it's a perpetual motion in the cycle. It's just get easier as you get more used to the process. And you would come to realize slowly as well as I did. Even though this is an incredibly hard path for me to take, it's the most rewarding at the same time. My relationship with my parents aren't the best. They still don't accept me for who I am. They still don't really agree with my decision of dropping out. Even my grandparents don't even know that I dropped out. And I had to distance myself from them indefinitely. It hurts so much because they are the people who I loved my whole life. But we never see eye to eye. Hopefully, we will soon at some certain point in the future. But I wouldn't put too much certainty into that. As much as that hurts, it brings me much joy to live authentically to myself, to not treat myself as someone who has to satisfy someone's expectations anymore. It's a really new experience for me. This is one of the lessons that I've learned about loving oneself is to just not treat yourself as a casualty because there's nothing casual about you. I hope this video was entertaining. It was very fun to make, and this is one in many series that I will make. I am awkward as hell and my words are slurring. I've been recording this for like 30 minutes, yapping non yapping nonstop. And yeah, I will get better at talking. Trust. I bought these online like they're canvases. So let's go through this one. This one is the album Volcano by Jungle. I've listened to them for a few years now. I love every single one of their albums. This one right here is Porter Robinson's Smile. Every time I listen to this goddamn album, I cry every time because the lyrics hit really hard. And I also grew up in the EDM electronic music era, so this one is very nostalgic for me. And I also listen to his Nurture album religiously as well. You guys should totally check them out if you're interested in that. This one in particular, I don't think you can see it. I'll bring it to you actually. This one is Okay Lou's Choking Up. It's pretty damn good for like a canvas, right? Like it's like an album printed on a canvas. It's pretty good. I love this album. This album's like a comfort album for me because whenever I listen to it, I put it with nature, like noises. Y'all, I swear, whenever I listen to this goddamn album, it brings me to a very tranquil space in my head. That, mm, God, like it's my comfort album for a reason. You guys don't get it. Like, OK Lou has a really nice way of producing music that it makes you feel like you're drowning, but you're voluntarily drowning, and it feels nice. That's the best way I could describe it. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Toodaloo.